All right, so I decided I wanted to bring back one of my favorite types of videos and do the story time with Gray. And I do realize a lot of my stories are pretty negative. Um, so I wanted to do a positive one. Now, mind you, the entire story is not positive, but this is how me and one of my best friends, Matt Beebe, became cool. Um, I can't pinpoint the date or time exactly because this was like a while ago, but I had probably been about like maybe like 4 or 5 years into the DJ game at this point in time. But let me back up. Before I met him. See, I used to just take like whatever gigs from whoever, and I had met this guy, Pyro be the name. And if some people from Chicago remember that name, it's because Pyro be that the name. And he ran this group called GMC Mob, or the Get Money Crew. And they didn't do any mob related stuff. Like, they didn't really do anything bad. They mostly just kind of like through events, and there was a whole lot of like stuff involved with those events, like hence reason why he had like a good reputation and he had a bad reputation. But in terms of me and this guy, this Pyro guy, I had ran into him at a party. Some people were telling him like, yo, you gotta get up with this gray matter dude, he's pretty cool. And he even told me that too. He's just like, yeah, man, a lot of people have been mentioning your name. Like, you should definitely hang out with us. And I was just like, all right, cool, yeah. Like, toss me your number and then I'll text you, and we'll talk. He, and just probably the most douchiest things I've ever seen somebody do in my life. He had like a girl that was standing with him. I don't know if that was his girl or whatever, but he like mentions for her to come close, to come to him, and then he like snaps and he points at me. And then she hands me a card, and I immediately throw the card on the floor. And I was like, if that's how you communicate with me, then I could give less of a shit. And he was like, damn, you ballsy. I fuck with you. And I really didn't hear from him from there. And all of a sudden, like for like months, and all of a sudden I got like I got like a message from him on Facebook, back when everybody was using Facebook, and he's just like, yo, I got this show, I want you to come out, come rock the show. Went to the show. Whoops. Went to the show. There were like he's like, we're gonna have you play last, because like, since you've got all these people that are so big on you, we're gonna have you play last and really hype everybody up. And I'm like, these people have not heard anything of what I'm playing. They've been playing hip hop and rap music all night. They're gonna hate me. But I have enough enthusiasm that I was just all like, bump it. If it goes, it goes. First two DJs go, it's my turn. Everybody's like, all my people, I came with like 6 people, and then they were just like, they're all like, yeah. They're all like, just, get him. And I'm all geeked and shit. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. Yeah, let's do it. So first song, everybody going nuts. Like, I mean, there are ripples of people, people going nuts, like, and they like pushing each other. There's a big old mosh pit, and it's the first song. And I'm like, ay, control yourselves. We got a whole hour. And it's like, second song, even crazier. Now, there was another guy that goes by the name of Anthony Casper. I don't really see him around too much, which is why I'm fine with dropping his name. I don't think he has anything bad on him. This is going to make him sound bad, but whatever. Dude literally picks up a potted plant and tosses the plant into a crowd of people going nuts. People get pissed. People go from moshing to full-blown punching and kicking each other. It's now a riot. And I have to get out of there because I've seen riots get really, really bad. And now I'm like, all of a sudden the police are in here. Now all of a sudden the bouncer's trying to fight people, and the Pyro dude's everyone's like, yo, have you seen Pyro? Nah, he's gone. Like, what do you mean he's gone? Yeah, he dipped. Like, so I get on the outside. It's like me, this one chick that I'm cool with, like a couple people, the people that I came there with. We're like, what the fuck happened? They're like, dude, Casper throwing potted plants. What the fuck? All of a sudden, so we just start walking to get out of there. We run into the Casper dude, and he's just all like, "Did you see that? Did you see that? I had to hop over like 6 fences." And I'm like, crazy. So the pyro dude's like, "Yo, I'm getting to Matt. Hold on." The pyro dude's like, "Yo, that shit was awesome. We're gonna need you to play another show." I played probably about 3 or 4 more events for this guy, and then all of a sudden, pyro just went cold out of nowhere. I wasn't hearing from him. I tried calling him, like nothing, and all of a sudden, his second in command was Matt Beebe, to which I was like, yo. Like, no, I didn't even yell at him. I didn't even know any of that. Like, I think he messaged me and he was like, hey, like, he's not around right now. And I was like, what do you mean not around? He's like, he's gone for a while. And I'm like dead? And he's like, no, he's just not around. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So GMC's just over? Like, the Get Money crew is over? And he's just like, no, I run it now. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So he's like, listen, I want to establish that I'm like the leader right now. I'm throwing a show. Like, you should come out. Now, I don't want to say this is the time that me and him got cool, because I've been booked by a lot of people that they'll book you, but they still could give less of a shit. You can't call them. You can't hang out with them. You can't grab food with them or nothing. They'll shut that down every single time. He's like, listen, I'm throwing a party. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm like, cool, awesome. I go to the event. I'm there with like probably like 2 of my people, and there was a girl there that I remember chatting with, and I was really, really trying to convince her, because I thought she was extremely, like, gorgeous. I thought she was super pretty, and I just was digging the conversation. She seemed like she had a really good head on her shoulders, and I'm trying to talk to her, and they're like, hey, you're going to be on in like so-and-so amount of time. You're going to be on in so-and-so amount of time. You're going to be on in this amount of time. And I'm not really tripping about it, because I'm like, I do pretty well. I just got finished playing a show, like, maybe an hour before I got here. So, like, I'm not even tripping about it. Jeez, what the fuck is that? These motherfuckers. Hold on. Are you cutting the grass in the house? Anyway. So I'm really trying to, like, talk to this girl, and then they're like, hey, it's your time. It's time for you to go play. I'm like, all right, cool. I go on stage. I go play. And there's this guy, and I probably shouldn't name drop him, like, just because it was so long ago, but yeah, I'll just keep it at that. There was this guy, and I never met this guy before. I didn't know who he was. And the thing about, like, DJing in Chicago is it's, like, really competitive there. And they are not afraid to shit on you there. And it kind of rubbed off on me for a couple of years, where every single time I heard somebody play, I'd be like, could be better. But then I'd also sit down and be like, I'm not perfect. What am I doing? And that took a while. But, yeah, like, so I'm on stage I'm playing, I'm probably like 3 songs in, and this guy is like, you're the worst. You are garbage. You are the worst thing out. And I'm like, can you back up? The fact I can hear you when I'm DJing, that means you're entirely too close. And he's just like, I don't know why they have you as headliner. You need to get out of here. What are you doing? You're you're trash. And I'm like, you say one more thing and we're done. You say one more thing. And I'm like literally getting ready to play the 4th song, and then all of a sudden, like, trash. I hear him say it. He's like right in my ear. Trash. I'm like, that's it. I slam the shit down. You have fucking go, motherfucker. Let's fucking go. We don't fucking play this shit around here. And everybody's like, and it turned into a whole thing. I'm grabbing this motherfucker. He's like, no, back up. Like, no, you don't run your fucking mouth and then fucking expect to walk away. So like I'm trying to grab him. Security had to grab me and escort me out of there. And I'm literally looking at the girl that I was trying to impress this whole time. Like, nah, I just seemed like a fucking like anger ridden asshole. Whatever. They throw me outside. Like my people come out, and then I'm sitting there just like going off for something. It's like, fuck this guy, fuck this place, shit is stupid, fuck y'all. I'm just literally just going off, and they're just like, dude, it happens, man, it happens. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That just really rattled me. The next day came around, and all of a sudden Matt calls me, and he's like, dude. I'm like, what's up? Like, my bad. I know. I snapped. He's like, no, fuck him. I'm like, really? You're on my side? Jesus Christ. I'm like, really? You're on my side? And he's just like, yeah, dude. Like, bro, like, you were up there just minding your own business, and homie's just all up in your grill. Dude, I seen that, bro. Bump that dude. And I was just like, damn, hold up. I think I got a homie right here. And then we're just sitting there, and we're just talking back and forth, you know. Next thing I know, for my little living space that I was in, I remember I had like moved in with some friends, and I had like roommates, and I was living in like the Pilsen area, and he decided to move to like the South 40th something area, and he had like a music studio, and he was always bringing me to the music studio. And back then, I didn't have the same level of focus that I do now. Like now, I can like sit in front of something and do something for like, you know, for like hours or whatever, and get lost in it. Back then, like if you put me in, like, I could make music, but it would take me long periods of time to make like a single song. Whereas now, it still will make me a long period of time, but that's only because I'm so fickle and I want something to sound a certain way because I want it to be perfect. Because I'm like, man, if I have to reflect on this, I don't want this to be like, oh man, I should have went harder. But like, yeah, I would just go to the studio and we would just vibe. We would just be talking for like hours. It'd be like me, him, and my one significant other at the time, and we'd just be talking and talking. And I remember like certain times, like she'd be kind of difficult, like with me, and I'd be like, what do you want to go do? And she'd be like just straight attitude. And then I'd be like, do you want to go hang out at Matt's? And she'd be like, oh yeah, let's go hang out at Matt's. He's a great time. And, you know, and like from there, I remember he just kept having stuff that he was dealing with, and it ended up being too much to the point where, you know, he ended up having to move to Missouri. And my thing about him moving to Missouri is I've had a lot of friends that the second they move away, it's like I don't exist no more. Like, we ain't friends, they don't talk to me, I don't hear nothing from them, nothing. Like, it's like we're less than nothing or something like that. Sometimes I feel like it's like them feeling like I have an ego. Other times I feel like maybe it's just like maybe our friendship just wasn't what I thought it was. With him, the complete opposite. It was like from the second he left, like I was still getting phone calls, I was still getting text messages, I was still getting him being like trying to put me on and stuff like that. And then our like friendship just kind of evolved from it being like to him being like, I'm trying to put you on, to like, let me tell you about me. And I was just like, damn, that's crazy, because I would tell him about me. And I was dealing with something, I was in a situation up until I want to say April of 2022, where I had been in a certain headspace, and I really didn't communicate with him as much as I thought I should have, and I really felt like shit for that, because in post after that situation pretty much blew up on me, like. And I had no one that I felt I could trust. Like, he was like the day one. And I can only hope that like more people have a Matt in their lives where they always have somebody that is consistently calling them, consistently trying to be a friend to them, consistently just like putting in that effort of like, I don't have to be here, but I'm here. You know? And he would never sit down and put that like rattle that out to me. I had to like come to that conclusion myself, where I was just like, man, you know what? You know who like kept it real and kept it true this entire time? Man, like whether it's like calling in just the most inappropriate joke you've ever heard, like, you know, like, or just like sitting down and listening when it's just like when my thoughts are just like so convoluted, like you know, I just need somebody to sit down and be like, hey, that's fucked up. And you know, I've always appreciated him for that. And yeah, you know, I mean, he's still out in Missouri, and like now I get the chance to be the helping hand, you know, because you know, like with his situation right now, he's really going through it. And like, and sometimes like I'll just be like, you know what, you dug down deep and you made it work. And I don't think anybody's going to tell you that they appreciate that you're out there just still kicking it and not like giving it up. Because like if I sat down and I started to explain the situation, like I like it saddens me. It really does. But like he's a real trooper for that, and a lot of me digging down deep and making myself work. Like it's just especially like me sitting down and like putting these videos together and bringing my music career back and like sitting down and playing a lot of these festivals and sitting down and keeping going with life. Like I can't tell you how many times I've almost hit the wall and been like, man, I'm done. Like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to associate with anyone. I don't want to go anywhere anymore. I just want to stay in my room. I just want to stay in my room, say like middle finger to everybody, and just not associate with the human world anymore because it's just been such a jaded experience. And you know, like for those people that don't have that person and still get up and go do their stuff, like kudos to them. And I'm happy that I have somebody like sitting down and like checking in on the regs. You know, like that's just like, yo, you know what a friend is, right? That's what I am. Like crazy, crazy, crazy. So yeah, that's my story time for today, and I will try to crank out more of these because man, I've got like oodles and noodles of them, and I hate giving out stories to people because it just kind of feels like, man, if I recorded that, like I wouldn't have to waste my time. But yeah, see you.